viewers.
Nice.
That's not too bad.
Hey everyone, how's it going? We're back. Guy and myself, Ron. Welcome to Dawn of Discussion. Where this week, you can actually see us. I mean, you can see Guy. I'm quite dark, but, you know, we're only trying.
Feels like there's a
Guy,
bit of lag.
how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Doing
That's
good.
good. That's good.
How about you?
I'm okay.
That's
I'm
good.
okay.
That's good.
Keeping busy. Still throughout
That's
lockdown. Because what can you do? One of the things I've been keeping busy with, I'm sure, um, you've been the same way because we're in all the groups that I'm in, you're in as well. Is play a lot of the D&D, at least 3 times a
yeah.
week. I imagine you're 4 times a week.
Currently, 4 times a week, which is
Yeah.
a lot. But to be fair, I've not got anything else to do. So
How do you do that though? Like four
what?
times a
4 days?
week? Yeah, 4 times a week. Just like 4 hours of
Simple.
nonstop RP action.
Simple. You are in lockdown on furlough with nothing else to do in the evenings, so you find shit to preoccupy yourself with.
Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right.
And as much as I love my parents, I need contact with friends as well.
Yeah. No, of course.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, it's good. How about you though? I mean, I know you've been keeping busy with it,
Yeah.
but
Cause I'll be honest, like I like it still.
yeah,
Like I still like playing every now and then, but I feel like lately it's been a bit much.
yeah, I can.
Especially because it's not just D&D as well. Like there's a couple of people as well who like to play Among Us like pretty much every week, and then there's the odd person who'd like to like play a different game altogether. Um,
Yeah,
and then we sometimes like play together as well, and it gets a bit much at times. And
yeah,
for me, like it's wondering like when do you get to the point where you can admit that you have like D&D fatigue?
yeah. No, I can. I've been in the same boat as
Yeah.
you, where I felt tired from D&D and felt like that I need a break from it. Um,
Yeah. Especially
it
because
happens.
D&D as well is like it's very different from the other activities because that one is more like not just RP but it's less conversational in a way. Like there's a lot of
Yeah,
talking involved, but for the most part it's like it's a lot of like keeping track of things, like really keeping up with it. And I was thinking about this the other day. I didn't have I slightly had this problem, but not this much of a problem when we were playing it live, like it in person. It's really like since it's all via Discord and everything, that's when it really like started manifesting as a bit of a problem.
yeah, yeah. Because I do prefer it live because being able to see people's faces and not having to have internet issues is just,
Oh yeah,
at least from my point of view, especially as a demon, it's a lot easier on me, and
yeah,
it makes judging things like, okay, how persuasive are you? What's your facial reaction? To be fair, I can't judge your face reaction on Monday because your character has no facial reactions.
I mean, yeah,
So
that's yeah,
but I think that's the thing is it's always like, don't get me wrong. The other blessing I've discovered with not having to play in person is Roll20 and the fact that I can literally just create battle maps just from taking images off the
yeah.
internet,
So you don't
buying.
have to spend lots of money
Yeah,
on
but even
like
then,
nice vinyl maps.
occasionally I do spend money on Roll20. But to be fair, it's not. It's usually about £5, which I think that's not bad compared to
20
some things like, yeah, 20 for an actual map and
for like a
even,
basic map that has like nothing, and they're like, "Here's a fucking pen, do something."
yeah,
Actually,
I
I say
always
that. I say that. Do
prefer
they actually add the pen in?
people having an actual. No, you have to get the pen separately.
What the
Each set
fuck is
sold
it worth
separately.
then?
Mm. I mean, that's the thing. I always prefer the actual maps that have like art to them because
Yeah,
it just helps give my players like, oh, it's by that wall with the thing over there, and they're like, oh, I know what that is. Versus being like, okay, I have to draw this as well because that's important. but there again, they'll notice that and they'll think, oh, that's important, and they'll go over to it straight away. So I have to draw stuff around to make it look like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot. I very rarely have had to draw on the actual maps. Thankfully,
Yeah.
I've always been able to get by just using shit around my house as like, because I also like, as you know,
Yeah.
I
Kitchen
collect
roll.
yeah,
That's a big
kitchen
one.
rolls and junk basically that most people throw out. I'm like, this would be good terrain.
Yeah.
There you go.
This
That's
this
the room
pizza
of the
box
building.
makes a great city hall.
Yeah, exactly. And now here is the fair King Pepperoni.
Yeah, King Pepperoni. Sitting on his crown of that little table looking thing that, prevents the lid from closing. That is throne.
Yeah,
Yeah. But I miss that's it. Yeah.
yes, just like MacGyver, Tammy. Uh,
Um I'm like my guy, yeah. But that's the
yeah,
thing, is basically I kind of miss that, and I feel like not having those interactions, especially
yeah,
because like when you're okay, so I'll admit sometimes during a D&D game I get a little bored, especially if my character's not doing much.
yeah, of course.
And it really adds a little bit of kind
When
of fun and extra when you can kind of exchange looks with other players who are also not doing much. And it's kind of like almost with sign language, like communicate while not disturbing the rest of the game too much.
yeah,
It's just a little
because
bit nicer that way.
yeah, one of the things I do miss as well is the fact that when someone is doing something, and even if it's me, and I look over and I just see people just doing this, that, and you're like, oh no, I've made a bad move,
Yep.
but I'm
Yep.
going with it because I'm too deep.
Or like interactions like, Josh and his fucking giant D20.
Yeah,
You,
yeah.
you don't have that online, and I feel like it makes it slightly less interesting because of it. Um,
And I like also the stereotypical like DM threat of like you bring out a mini to like, look, if you piss me off, brings out ancient dragon. This is coming your way. It's not
yeah,
the same as like
exactly.
here's a token of an ancient dragon. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
but if you see it and it's 3D, you're like, oh no, it's even scarier.
Also,
I don't know why.
the one thing that I really enjoy because of it in Roll20 over regular is when you accidentally make a character that is meant to be like normal size or small size just huge, and everyone just goes, "What the fuck is that?" And the DM goes, "Oh,
Yeah.
oh, sorry, I need to make it smaller."
No, just you didn't see that. Nothing happened. Yeah.
No, no, it's fine. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, when you accidentally reveal something and you're like, "What's that?" And you're like, "Don't worry about it. It's nothing."
yeah, like Garen and his numbers, and it's like room 52. What does that mean?
What does this mean? What do the numbers mean? Mason, what do the
Mason,
numbers mean? Mason.
focus on the
But yeah,
numbers. Actually, the DM would say, "Don't focus on the numbers."
numbers. They mean nothing. But yeah, it's a weird thing just thinking about it with
Yeah,
Roll20 and now because I think that's the thing. It's good that it's kind of keeping people together and you're still able to play it, but it'll never be the same
yeah. One of the things as well
on
that I've
these tables.
noticed. Yeah. One of the things I've noticed as well. Especially like when we're playing at Dark Sphere. When we're playing at yours, not as much, but still a little bit. When we're playing in Dark Sphere, there's a clear like cutoff time where it's like, no, now we're closing. You need to you need to fuck off 15 minutes beforehand, or like you get
Yeah,
a warning 15 minutes beforehand at least. Now
yeah,
it's like, well, you're at home, so if we don't
yeah,
finish by 10, we'll finish by 11. If we don't finish by 11, we'll finish like in the middle of the night. And a
yeah.
lot of people are perfectly good for it, and I can respect that and I can appreciate that. But at the same time, I often feel like,
No,
well, no, because I have
yeah,
I don't have a sleeping schedule, but I'd like to have one.
yeah. Exactly. That's the thing. I think yeah, because I know some people would be happy to go to midnight, and I've struck it a few times with a few players, but I think as much as I would like it,
Yeah.
I like it as well. I don't know some people don't need sleep because I know several people I play D&D with who generally don't care about having sleep or don't
Okay.
need it or struggle to have it. But I think no,
Or
sleep.
are in the greatest form of denial,
Yeah, we're
where
in the
by
greatest form of
denying so hard that they need sleep, they somehow end up not needing it.
denial. They have convinced themselves. They have managed to con themselves. But yeah, it's it's one of the things where I think I guess sort of going into something we were talking about briefly, we can talk about now is player preference
Yeah.
because people have different preferences. Because I talked a little bit about it with our on one of the people on Monday. I'll just say their name because fuck it, not like anyone knows who this person is, and not like he's watching. But
Yep.
Luke likes dungeon crawls,
Yeah.
and I, as a player, kind of don't. I think
No, I agree.
I prefer very much the RP side of things, which that's always been like my favorite side of things. So that's why my DM is catered to very much that style of like you get to talk with people and solve things through words
Yeah.
rather than fighting because I always think that's kind of rare in most games. It's not that think Luke is a murder hobo and he just likes killing things. I just think he
Sure. Yeah.
likes he very when he it's clear now to me that when he made Rufus is very much a combat orientated character.
Yeah.
Which there's nothing wrong with it if that's a
No,
player that's
absolutely
something
not.
one player wants to do, but is in the end it's like I
Yeah.
want to make characters that can function in combat but
I
are
mean,
also fun
I
to
mean,
RP.
Mark is in a way as well. Like, in combat, like I've made him so that he's functional in it because I wanted him to be a deadly killing machine, and now he's not. Now he's some sort of fluffy teddy bear device.
To be fair,
And I hate that.
it's no.
Tell
To be
you who
fair,
hates it more. Mark
mean,
hates it.
Mark is when you actually think about it. In certain areas, he's very combat efficient because he
Yeah.
has a massive AC. He has the highest AC of anyone in the party, I think, which
Yeah.
is very handy. But it's also one of those things where both Mark and Vasily specifically are very are clearly kind of combat focused because Vasily can fucking one shot my creatures. Yeah. I'm not
No,
salty about that at all. But you guys,
almost stole the kill that literally has been my entire life purpose
I
of
thought
killing.
he, I thought he did steal the kill. Not that he almost did. I thought he actually
He
killed.
did, and then we agreed that he made it non-lethal, so that I could have the killing blow,
Yeah, that's true. I think
which is still an amazing gesture, and I appreciate that. But at the same time, I was like, I hate that it happened this way.
it's more like Vasily is the guy who, like, when it's in Mortal Kombat, so he's the one who knocks the bar down to 0, but then he's just the guy that yells to you, "Finish him!" But it's like he's done all the work. You just get you just get the cool fatality, which it's cool, but it's like you did all the button mashing.
Why Salt Bay? Why are we talking? Oh, it's Vasily Salt
So,
Bay. Is that the joke? Because when
no,
when he wounds you,
I
he sprinkles a little bit of salt.
no, he's not Salt Bay, he's Dice Bay because he just sprinkles dice all over me. But to be fair, I love him for it. I love his fucking OP
No, dude,
one
he's
shots.
great.
They bring out some of the best comedic moments because that's the thing. I kind of take away weirdly from people in dungeon crawling and play styles because actually before we do that, because
Yeah.
one person is here listening, I feel kind of bad for Tammy because Rin does feel very RP designed, and her internet has never really been to stand to her be able to do
Yeah.
it effectively. I feel very bad for her
No, I know what you
because I
mean.
think Rin could do so much more. But it's like, man, if only Discord
Yeah.
wasn't
If
officially
only she
switched on,
heard what you said.
or if only I could hear what she says.
That even
Oh,
worse.
it's not fine, Tammy. Damn it.
She says it's fine, but we all know it isn't. It's okay. It's okay. You don't have to admit to anyone but yourself.
It's okay. But anyway,
Um,
but yeah, but I think she's the warlock cleric, which is very ironic considering there's a paladin and a cleric in the party. Well, cleric wizard who wants to be a rogue and a paladin who, yeah,
who's
it
on
doesn't
the
matter.
offense?
Yeah, but on the flip side of things, like DMing
Yeah.
in terms of because like I've gotten to that stage. Like originally on Wednesday, I'll admit to it, I'm not very proud of it. I very much tried to make things that could kill members of the party on Wednesday long ago
Mm.
because I just thought that's something that should happen because players
Yeah.
should experience their character deaths. I thought it's not about the DM making something that can kill the players. It's about
Yeah.
because that's the thing. I saw someone saying, "Oh, basically describing it." I think it was XP03. Can't remember the name of the YouTube channel, but basically saying, I hate the phrase "it's the player's story." It's like, no, it's the DM telling a story. And I think no, best way of describing it is the player's story that they are experiencing in your world that you have created for them.
Yep.
Because that is very much the mentality
Yeah.
I've taken on now, where it's like it doesn't. You need to make sure that your players have a story that
Yeah.
they can be satisfied with at the end
Well, I
in a
think
world
the
that
way
you
to
can.
describe it, it's the player stories, but the stories are shaped by the DM in the same way that in real life your experiences are shaping your story. The DM is
No,
basically just throwing those experiences at you, and
that's true.
basically for more than like for a lack of better description, uh, literally just for the most part to see what you would do in that situation.
No,
Um,
yeah,
and basically through that you get a chance to develop your character and basically make them become the character that they are destined to become through your playstyle.
yeah,
Um, and I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think everyone from player to DM can agree that is the best way to play it. Also, as is pointed out in the chat, on Wednesdays the majority of the group was comprised of murder hobos.
that's very true.
And
Very gun ho, trigger
yeah,
happy
and also,
character.
so if we can take a moment real quick, because obviously, like I've been recommending this podcast to a lot of people who don't play D&D, so it's best to kind of like get a couple of things out of the way. Murder hobos are not the best. No, no, they suck.
No, no, no.
Um,
I hate
I'm
murder
playing one, but
horse.
whatever. Um,
Well, to be fair, Mark isn't a murder hobo,
no,
but
no, not
carry on.
Mark, not Mark.
Oh yeah, the other guy. Yeah,
Yeah, the other gay. Um, he might be. I don't know. Haven't thought that
he
far.
doesn't seem like it. Carry on.
Um, murder hobos are essentially players who just kill anything on sight.
Yeah,
And it doesn't matter if they're evil characters or good characters. Mark is not a murder hobo. All right. This is okay. Let me. Can I come out and clear this up right now? Mark does not. Okay. Let me think of how I'm going to say this. Mark
Mark.
is programmed for war, right?
Hmm,
Um, and at the beginning, he was very comfortable with hurting people, and
yeah,
I would go as far as to say he still is. But um, at the beginning of the game, which by this time is about 2.5 years ago,
yeah,
something like that,
roughly that.
he was not in a social circle where he could develop more of um, the kindness that he portrays these days. Right? So don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm
It's
sorry.
not
It's just
about
so
that.
heartwarming to hear.
Um,
Oh,
what I mean is, at the time, he was literally like, okay, well, violence is the answer because if I destroy someone, they are no longer in my way. That was his thinking. He has developed, especially since the whole like situation where, to give you context, Mark is a warforged, um, built out of another creature, um, and ever since the situation of um, where he where did we went on a mission to this place called Broken Hammer, where a king resided that programmed him to be that way, and they killed him, and
mhm.
he basically elected himself king as a way of like, asserting his dominance, and then couldn't get rid of the crown because everyone was fucking inept and couldn't lead themselves. Ever since then, he has been developing a conscience, right?
Hmm.
And he's not like ever since then he's not um like falling back on violence every time. He's not actively trying to kill people. He's not seeing the violence as like the answer. He could kill comfortably, but for instance, there was a situation where there was a drow that was being interrogated. Well, interrogated in a less extent. And Mark's interrogation techniques in the past have been,
Cut
uh,
off someone's head with their ass.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
I want to say I'm not proud of it, but I am. Um, and basically, um, in this situation, it was a situation where she said, "Okay, well, you can hurt me all you want, but that's not gonna change anything. I'm not gonna say anything." So instead, he became super psychological and broke her from within using basically just words. Yes, that's psychic. That's not quite what I meant. But like basically became super
yeah.
psychological, where he like deconstructed her motivation. It was like, oh, so you have a sister. Oh, do you know that if you fail your job, they're going to kill your sister? We can prevent that. And that fucking terrified the fuck of her. You could have easily just gone like, oh, okay, so no matter how much I hurt you, you won't really experience the pain. Fuck it, I'll just hurt you then. 'Cause I don't care. He decided not to do that because he opts for whatever gets the job done, not necessarily for violence. So
Yeah.
he's not a murder hobo. He doesn't look for people to get hurt. When he's trying to like assert justice when he comes somewhere, like if he goes somewhere and he goes like, I want to find
Oh,
crimes to solve. It's not because he wants to beat up bad people necessarily.
he just wants to solve crime
Yes,
and do
because he's bored.
justice.
I will say at that point, it's not even because he wants to
Because
do
he's
the right thing. It's because he's bored. Because again, he's not oath of devotion, right? He doesn't necessarily care about the people. What?
sorry.
What?
I figured out something. It's just imagine one day there's like a diplomatic mission to your kingdom of Broken Hammer, and they're like, "Where's your king?" It's like, "Oh, he's busy with his hobby. What's his hobby? He's a vigilante." It's
He's
like, but
solving
this is his
crimes.
city. But like, this is his city, isn't he? Not like, does he not need to do it? No,
Yeah.
he doesn't.
No, he makes us
And
commit
then
crimes every now and then just
you
so he
just
can solve
see
them.
Mark on like a roof just jump, and he does the whole Dark Knight Returns jump and lightning strikes. and, and just as that happens, just the foreign diplomat looks wow. It's like he's very cinematic. It's like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
He sets it up. He has a wizard back there casting like
Yeah.
lightning bolt or something. So
Literally,
it's all staged for at this point. We just indulge him.
he
We
literally
set up fake
looks
crime.
up, looks at the Durgar by lantern, and he goes, and then the girl goes, turns on the mark signal.
Mark signal. That's me.
It's just his
Quickly,
face.
to answer Tammy. Sadly, he is actually the best king they've ever had.
Yes.
That's the sad truth of it. It's super sad that he's the benchmark. Oh god.
To be fair, he is thinking of changing. Like, once the kingdom is further improved, he is thinking of changing the name because he doesn't want it to be a broken hammer anymore. Because broken hammer implies that there's a problem with it. So he wants to
Yeah.
change the name to whole hammer.
I was very scared because to let people know the name of this group is called the Marxists. So I was very afraid that you were literally just going to say, "I want to change the name to the Soviet Union." That was that was a literal fear of mine. Just for a second, where I thought, "Holy shit, is this where this is
The
going?"
Soviet Union of Mark. No, whole hammer,
Whole
whole
hammer,
hammer,
Jesus.
or fixed hammer, or something like that.
I can't wait for you just to go, I hereby proclaim this kingdom fix hammer, and King Thalen is just going to be there and going, why not just call it Hammer, the kingdom of Hammer?
Kingdom. Well, that sounds dumb. What do we do? Like
Oh, but,
just juggle hammers all day? Like what was it that
oh,
we're
but
meant to
what
do here?
fixed hammer is a better name? What do you people do? Fix hammers, like right?
Okay, well just change the names to something like drastically.
That,
Red
that's
hammer.
actually
Let's
that's actually not a bad shout
red
because now I
hammer.
can see this.
The red hammer and
There's
sickle.
yeah, sickle hammer.
Sickle hammer. Sickle hammer.
We can brainstorm this at another
We'll
time, but yeah,
brainstorm this. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, I just want to clear that up. Like, also, Tammy, it doesn't matter how much you do an insight check. This is truly how I feel about Mark.
I think it was more about the dwarves and how they feel about their
Sure.
kingdom.
Anyway,
Vigilante.
that's my my little rant about Mark is he is an efficient murder machine, but he won't
Yeah.
prioritize killing people. And at one time in the pub, right, that was a misunderstanding. There was a miscommunication, right? He It was a misunderstanding, and he apologized for it.
So to give people context, Mark, they were in a tavern in Baldur's Gate, and basically this very big buff guy came up to them, and
An
it was
orc, by the way.
pardon,
An orc, by the way.
an orc, so a really big buff orc guy, and this was a tavern that was known to be the home of a gang. He came up and he just said, "Weapons, please, weapons and armor, weapons and whatever, please."
No, he
And
didn't. He didn't say please.
oh yeah, so he didn't say please, but he just said,
I
"Give
think
me your weapon."
he said, "I like your weapon. Give it to me." I mean,
Which, to be fair,
how am I meant to take that?
it's more like, "I'd like to have your coat, sir, so I can hang it up," kind of thing. But he's an orc. He's not smart. He just gets straight to the point. He's like, "I'd like your hammer," or I like that hammer." So that's once again, he's not smart, and you could have insight checked him and discovered that's what he was asking
I mean,
for.
like, but
To be
like,
fair, you
no, but because it was very clear to me what he meant, even though what I thought he meant was different. But like, imagine like having an orc valet and just go like, "I like your car. Give me the keys." Would you give him your fucking keys?
to be fair, oh, this is going to be great for the modern D&D game because basically the orc people are going to be the black people. They're just
What?
you just shouldn't trust them with anything.
What you do? No, I'm not a racist.
Your voice. No.
I'm not a racist. I just, he just gave me a bad vibe. That's all. It's not because he's an. I mean, partially, but
Reload for a second. It's okay, Tammy. It's okay. Don't worry about it. But yeah, no, because to be fair, like no, I can sympathize. And to be fair, just to give people a bit of clarity of what happens on our Monday games, typically we actually do a lot of like when someone is doing something, I actually am very fine with a party member to go, hey, well, wouldn't it be funny if this happened? And I'll think that I was like, would that be? You know what? Fuck it. Yeah, that happens as well because I just think if people help introduce something that makes the whole scene more fun, I'm not against it, and I like to. I'm going more into the idea of building a more comedic tones for campaigns because I think it's just most campaigns are dark and gritty and have this end of the world threat, which to be fair, you guys do as well. But
we
it's always more
yeah
like the threats in most D&D campaigns are end of the world, but with Dark
yeah
Knight level of darkness, where it's like this is everything we have to do, versus whereas you guys are more in an Ant-Man
yeah.
situation where he's kind of like we have to stop him, but we can still have fun.
I'd say
Or
Last
even
Airbender,
yeah, no, Airbender, Last Airbender is actually very good.
where it's like there's a lot of lighthearted stuff, but when it gets serious, it gets
It does
serious.
get, yeah, it does. Yeah, I would agree with that. Last Airbender, or even things like the Justice League Unlimited show,
Yeah, or The Boys.
things like or the boy,
Maybe more
actually, yeah,
like The
or the
Boys
boy.
because there's a significant higher amount of swearing and gory shit.
The Last Airbender, but it's the boys. Sorry, just as a random note, I love the fucking meme now where Queen Maeve just gives an earful and then just Homelander goes, "Wow!" Just that whole sequence is just too good.
It really
Yeah.
is.
Um. But yeah, sort of. It's just I love Mondays. That they are probably my favorite
Yeah.
sessions. Which
Well, no, I
is
more than agree.
yeah.
But I
But
think
I think
we have the perfect mix with like the right DM style with the right players.
yeah, I think that's a big thing because finding a DM you like and then that DM finding a group of players that they also like is very rare. And on Monday, I
Yeah.
think we have effectively found that sort of. Not to say that I don't like the other players that I play with, because to be fair, I only currently DM Mondays, and
Yeah.
it's also not like I don't like the other DM. To be fair, I only have ever. No,
Two.
I'm now playing under two DMs. Yeah, I'm playing under two DMs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just I think Mondays is just we've found that right chemistry where we can have fun and not like if we do if one of you guys do something wrong or get a wrong check, it's like well
Yeah.
we'll make it fun.
Yeah.
We find a
Something
way to
funny
make
happens.
Monday
Monday's
fun
fun
day.
day.
Monday is fun day. Monday is
Agreed.
fun day.
Agreed.
Agreed.
100%. Because that's the thing.
Because I
It's
will
like,
say,
yeah, go on.
sort of on the topic of the other games that we play, and more so on the other game where it's based on a pre-written adventure. And I know other
Sure.
people are different. I'm not the biggest fan of pre-written adventures simply because I think they're because I've tried to sit down as a DM and think I should do a pre-written adventure one day, and I
Yeah,
read through them. I just think one, I find them too kind of difficult to get through, and I find the structure of the books really weird. And secondly, I
yeah,
think it's there's no I don't feel the personal stake in it for the players because you effectively have to tell them this is the campaign we're running. Here are like some of the bad guys. Perhaps one of you guys has a connection with them because otherwise, it's very hard for players to
yeah, exactly.
reach out for the story. Because on one of the days we're playing Ghost of Saltwater Marsh, which it when it first came out, I thought that would be a really fun adventure because it's a pirate themed adventure, and
Yeah,
now we're playing it like this is the pirate themed adventure. This is a real some false advertising because it's like oh it's got pirates and stuff like you don't become a
it's
pirate though.
yeah, it's barely got
You
pirates.
basically work in a town, a fishing town, doing jobs for
Yeah,
people,
my
which is
current character is probably the closest thing to a pirate. Maybe no, actually, Maclack maybe.
yeah, Maclack is basically a pirate
Yeah,
to be fair. But yeah, I think once again, I don't mind Sunday. I don't mind the group of people that we play with. Kind of
yeah,
giving away which day it is. Doubt they'll watch it though. We know you want to be a pirate, Tammy. Um, it's all she
participate.
ever talks about some days. But it's also the thing is, and to be fair, I this isn't entirely their fault, but I find it very
No.
difficult because two of the people use the same computer for Discord,
Yeah,
but because one of those people is the DM, that person can't sit next to the person and
it
use
makes
that
it
Discord.
more complicated because
It
sometimes
does.
I just
And
can't hear her sometimes.
yeah, no, most of the time I can't hear her, which
Really, you hide that very well then, because I have an impression that like you hear her, and I'm like, fuck, my ears are not doing
I
that well then.
occasionally get a bit through, and I can tell she's talking, but I just can't understand her. I'm like, hey, could Garen repeat that for us?
Yeah, is that literally
Which I
like the low talker in Seinfeld where it's like, what?
think,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
pretty
yeah,
much.
yeah.
Once again, I don't blame them for that. I just think that's an unnegative side effect that I think is given a bit of a negative
It
reaction for me
does.
towards the Ghost of Saltwater Marsh. I'm sure I may enjoy it more if that wasn't the situation,
Yeah.
but I don't. I
Well,
don't. I think that hampers it.
because the last couple of games they weren't together. She was somewhere else, I think, or he was
Yeah,
somewhere else. I'm not entirely sure.
something like
And
that. Yeah.
that worked a lot better.
That did work a lot better, I found. Yeah, I preferred that game. I preferred those sessions actually a lot more than
Yeah.
to the regular
To
ones.
be fair, we had more of a complete group those games as well.
Yeah, we had what 5 people those games
Yeah.
as opposed to 3. Because yeah, I because also the issue is I have a pre-written adventures. Even if you can max out the things, most and it's something that goes on beyond that to the monster manual. Most pre-written adventures go from levels either 1 to 5, 1 to 10, or at most level 16 is the highest adventures there are, which is the Dungeon of the Mad Mage and Rise of Tiamat.
Yeah.
And they're all designed specifically, usually between 4 to 6 players, specifically 4. That's the way I've always kind of gathered it, which means
Right.
most shit in the monster manual severely underpowered once you guys get past like level 16. Once you're level 20 or higher than 16, you can blitz through most of the stuff. Which
Yeah.
for I don't want things to kill you. I just want things to be a challenge. And I think even though you weren't there for the last session on Monday, the things that the people fought, which were called death kiss, I actually thought, which aren't in Monster Manual, to be fair, I think they're from Mordecai's Tongue Foes.
Sure.
They actually felt more like a challenge because I thought these things feel like if you guys
Yeah.
these things were real. They were really putting a hurting on them. Even if you were there, I think they would have been putting a bit of a hurting on them.
Yeah. It's more of a thing where it's like you might die.
Yeah, it's not even that you might die. It's more
Yeah.
these things are taking up your resources that you might need later on,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
This is one of the things as well cuz like the game where Tell died.
Yeah,
I genuinely hated that encounter, like that whole thing because the only reason why he severely died is because there were so many creatures there
yeah,
and there was literally never a time to like there was no possibility to restart any of my healing spells or any of my
yeah,
healing capabilities. So
yeah,
like all of it like I kept like trying to spend the last of it on everyone. And then when I died I was like, okay, well fuck, there was literally no way I could have prevented this.
yeah.
So it was a
Yeah.
bit shit like that. Um,
Yeah.
and I do think it's attributed to the fact that, I mean, I'm sure it was scaled, but we were with less people.
Yeah. That's the thing, because like so, most pre-written adventures are designed for 4 people and up.
Yep.
Keyword there is and up, not lower than 4.
Yep.
It's scaled for more than 4 people. If you
Yep.
have less than that, it's hard to gauge for DMs how much to scale back in pre-written adventures. Like, oh, I should take out one of these, maybe 3 of these. But it's like, would I make the encounter too easy, or
Yeah.
maybe just right? And I think, to be fair, I think in that situation it was. I don't. It didn't feel as if because we got to pretty much the final stage as well. Like we did pretty well, all things considered. It was just the
Yeah.
final stage where we just got trapped essentially in the end, and we were like, "Well, fuck."
Yeah. Because you
There's
guys
not
barely
much.
made it out alive as well.
Yeah, we barely made it out alive. And the thing is, we were pretty resolute to bringing everything. We wanted to bring you and your body and what we had come for, and then ultimately we had to make a decision between what we came for in your body or our own lives, and which I didn't. In the end, personally, my character probably would think, it's sad we didn't get his body, but it happens. But I personally hated that because it's like, no, burials are important, especially if it's the cleric that dies. They deserve a
Oh
burial,
yeah. Oh yeah.
because I thought that was pretty heartbreaking. Yeah.
Not just that. He was the son of someone, you know.
No.
Okay.
Just, uh, yeah, but everyone's the son of someone. Haha.
Well, no, women aren't.
Fine. Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, what do you want me to say? Women are sons? Yeah, sure.
I mean, why can't they be? Why can't they be? Don't be sexist. Women can be sons as well.
Can they? Do they want to be?
I don't know. There's going to be PC, social justice warriors who want to
PC
say that
culture
they
gone
can
too
be.
far.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, yeah. I think what I'm trying to think as well, because of people that I know who have.
You're stuck on this now.
Carrying on. About people whose characters have died. Now I'm trying to think, because you've gone through it.
Yep.
I technically have, because one of my characters on my last Thursday game, I got the chance to play both of my characters, the current one and the former one that was brought back for like a special event, and he
Right.
died. The one that I brought back, but to be fair, he wasn't the main one I was using, so I was like, I kind of could count that, but it's like it's not the
Hmm.
same as your. Actually, no, that's not true. Even then, that's not true, because one of my other characters did die on Thursday, because we basically did a total party wipe. And while the DM did give us a chance, like, oh, there's a chance where all your characters can come back, I was like, nah, he fits the game. It's just we kind of need a healer. I was like, I'll play a cleric. Sure, I'm
Yeah,
actually
fair.
very happy with my choice now. So
No, no, it's a fun character.
yeah, but yeah, and what I think has any of Tammy's characters ever died?
She will tell you
Probably.
in several seconds. I mean, that's not really what we were looking for, but
Sorry, Tammy. That's what the answer we're looking for.
to be
The
fair,
answer we were
everyone
looking
should at
for is
least, like, once in their life, they should play a cleric, because
yeah.
cleric is underrated.
Yeah, I think Tammy prefers on delay because of where she isn't hurting it. But anyway, because I think that's the thing. Everyone should play one of the classes at least once. I
Yeah.
think. The only classes I haven't played thus far are what? What classes are there actually? Fuck.
To be fair, there's a couple of classes that I'm just not interested in playing.
I haven't played an artificer. Played a barbarian. Played a bard. Played a cleric.
Yeah,
Played a fighter. Played a monk that was multi-class with rogue.
sure.
Haven't played a paladin yet.
Paladin is great.
Haven't played. Haven't played a ranger yet. played a rogue, haven't played sorcerer, played a warlock, played a wizard, playing a blood hunter. So
Right.
I've played most of the classes, so I just need druid, monk, paladin, ranger, sorcerer, and that's it. Oh, an artificer.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'd like to play Artificer as well at some point. Well, I wanted
Yeah,
to
I would
multi-class
too,
to
but
Artificer, but not smart enough.
what's your intelligence again for Mark? 12, isn't it?
Like 12, yeah, 12 or
Yeah,
13.
you're one off from being at the correct score.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Like, I'll probably, it's I want to do something that will boost my intelligence somehow.
Yeah.
If I get to level 12 and I haven't done that, I might just do ability score increase.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But so
If,
Tammy wants to play the enchantment wizard, so basically
next campaign, vampire. Read.
I'm not even kidding, there are terms though. No, for her for the next campaign she wants to play a fighter. So that much I know.
I wasn't looking for crime in a library. I was looking for dirty deeds, and I found them.
He did find them.
Like 4 of them.
No, you didn't.
Mm-hmm. See, I'm not necessarily reading the books. I am protecting them.
You were literally Ross from that one episode of Friends.
Except that I didn't commit the crime that I just caught
No,
people
you
doing.
didn't. You did better than him. Um, that is true.
I
You
mean, I
did
did
say
say
you
that.
would,
Yeah, okay. I did say I'm looking for crime,
but
but I found it, so it doesn't matter. Also, in the forbidden section, I did read books.
that is true. You did read books in the forbidden section. There you go. It's more the book. That's good for you. To be fair, there are bigger libraries out there, Tim. I'm just going to throw that out there. Neverwinter doesn't have the largest library in the multiverse. You've actually technically been to one of the 5 largest libraries in the multiverse, which was Mistress Tower. But there are other bigger ones. Bigger than
There's
hers, even.
there's bigger books to read.
Yeah. I will say this: you go to any literal god of knowledge's palace, just literally the largest library in existence. Just saying.
I don't think that's possible.
What, the head exploding or
No,
every book in there is?
like every God of Knowledge library is literally the largest library in the universe. Surely one is bigger than the other.
You don't know.
Okay, okay, okay.
You haven't met any of them.
That's how you
That's
want to
what I
play
mean.
it. That's how we're gonna play it. Fair enough.
But
Anyway,
just like it's some random thing because we have talked a little bit about character deaths and things. And what
sure.
is the wackiest character you have ever come up with? Now that I think about it,
Um, wacky.
I know who mine is.
If we're going wacky,
Either wacky or strangest
yeah,
in general,
one doesn't
like just
count
the
because
most
I think
out
that
there kind of character.
like I one doesn't count because it's literally the shittiest character ever. I want to
Which one is that?
say, remember Hegel,
Oh my
the
god.
monk who thought he was possessed?
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
well, here's a question: wackiest character that I've ever played, or wackiest character that I've ever created?
Let's do both.
Okay,
Let's do both.
wackiest
I'm either
character
one.
ever created. It's either Hegel or it's Aranor, which basically you guys' character don't even know. His motivation to do everything is not because he wants money or anything. It's because he is a convicted criminal. In his own words, white, black, blue, and red color crimes.
What?
Yeah,
So
and so
he's committed.
the the problem is he got caught, right?
Oh,
And so basically he's serving the
the guild.
navy, the navy guild, to reduce his sentence.
Okay.
But he's actually quite like the reason why he's like acting like a nutter every now and then. He is actually mentally ill.
Okay. Okay. You always come up with the
The quips.
most straightforward characters ever.
Yeah. All right.
Because
I love characters that have something wrong with them.
yeah.
Also because this one
Just
was
quickly,
because
because
I
I've
was
seen
very
Tammy.
salty.
Yeah, fair enough. Because I will just quickly say, I've seen Tammy's comment, which was the Orc Barbarian with a Valley Goal accent. That is pretty weird, I will admit.
That is, yeah.
But I would argue her Illithid Cleric is probably
Yes,
still up.
love that one. Karen.
Karen, you can't forget Karen, Tammy.
Can't forget it.
But also
Karen is fucking fantastic.
without question, the weirdest character I've ever created and played was Bubbles.
I love Bubbles.
So, for people watching who don't know who Bubbles is my low-cath barbarian. And because he lives out of water, he has a big fishbowl over his head, just like from Fish from Chicken. What was it? Sky's Boy? Chicken Run? Little Chicken?
I think it was Chicken Run.
Chicken Run, yeah. Whatever the film was. Might have been Little Chicken Run, either way. And
I'll
also
just
like
say
from
SpongeBob.
yeah, or SpongeBob, basically the reverse of Sandy. But and basically the way I described it was he doesn't rage, he panics. And that's his rage. It's just him going he just starts hitting things that are nearby just because he gets stressed so easily and it comes into panic and he just starts hitting things violently, hoping that they'll go away. God, Bubbles was
Bubbles
the
is
best.
great.
Oh my god.
But now, the wackiest character that I've ever created is potentially Erenor or Hegel. The wackiest character I've ever played is Johnny Mountain.
Johnny Mountain. Who was Johnny Mountain again?
Hang on, give me 2 seconds.
Oh, what is this about? I forgot what is going on. We paused to preview this brief sponsor. We have no sponsor. That's right.
I still have my sheet.
What was the noise he? What was the noise he? What was the noise he made again? So for people,
Johnny Mountain is Zaratan.
So yeah, so we played a one shot where we all got to play legendary creatures. So I played a silver dragon, an ancient silver. Someone else played an ancient gold dragon. Someone played an angel, and you played a. Huh?
Yeah. Tommy's asking if the ankle has changed. No, it's the same.
No, it's the same. Yeah.
I may have crossed a line, which makes it look a little different. Hang on. I might have to.
But Ron played a fucking tortoise, basically a giant earth elemental tortoise, which was just
again. If you need a reference,
shit.
To be fair, so this was like a one shot that was done by our friend Cosimo. Yeah. And we were all doing legendary creatures, and he literally just had a pile of them. And I was late, right? Because I had to travel from Wimbledon Studios all the way to Shepherd's Bush.
Yeah.
So I came late, and he was like, "Well, there's 2 options here." And it was this one, and there was one other one that I don't even remember, but like looked incredibly boring.
Storm Giant.
There you go. So I was like, "No, I'm gonna do this one. This one seems funny." And so basically, all he really did, because his intelligence was like, his modifier for intelligence is a -4, right? So all he did was kind of like walk into things, spit rocks, and just kind of, just hang out. And, essentially at some point, I was wondering, like, will there ever be like a cult built around him?
Oh my god! I still need to integrate that somehow.
The cult of the mountain.
Cult of Johnny Mountain.
Cult of Johnny Mountain.
Because I will say, because I always like to imagine that, because even though that creature's gargantuan, so are ancient dragons, I always love to imagine your creature was like bigger than the dragons and everything.
Yeah.
So it was that thing where it's like we're like there in this cave, flapping our wings, breathing our breath weapons, and then all of a sudden, this fucking tortoise just comes out from nowhere and goes, "Ah," and we're just sort of looking at going, "This motherfucker, he's so adorable."
He's so
Oh my
great.
god, he is
And
so great.
like a bunch of stuff that I've about him is so great as well. Like if he gets seriously injured, the Zaratan slowly retracts its appendages to gain shelter beneath its impervious shell, biding his time until it recovers and can resume its march. That fucking won us the game pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much at times, yeah.
Because literally every now and then I would just go like, "Oh, I'm hurt," just go into fucking turtle mode. Fucking love Johnny Mountain.
Oh god, it was
Clearly
fantastic.
named after the character in the room. I don't know if his last name is Mountain, but you know it is now. Because I think Cosimo was like, "Oh, what's your character's name?" And I was like, Mountain."
So it's too good. It was too good. One of the best things I've ever experienced in a D&D game was that.
Guess what languages he speaks? None.
Or
No,
not.
it's just a line. There's nothing there.
Does he understand any languages?
It. I'm gonna assume no, because it for languages it just says minus. It doesn't actually say anything.
He doesn't speak languages. In fact, because it's a minus, he actually loses languages that he learns later
Well,
on.
again, his intelligence modifier is a -4. So what were you
Yeah.
meant to understand at that point?
Oh no! You know what Tammy's gonna point out now?
Yes. Yes, I play the character called Mom. What of it? Is this? No, no, no! I don't want to talk. No, I don't want to talk about this. Oh my
Thank you,
god!
Tammy.
Are we gonna
Chef's
talk
kiss on
about
that one.
this?
Yep, screw it. So people, what was it when we all watched Hobbs and Shaw together? That was the one we watched, right? My
Okay.
work is done.
I don't
It
want
is.
to
Now we're
talk
talking
about this. I don't want to talk about. Okay,
we
fine.
we
Go on.
we watched Hobbs and Shaw, and in the scene where Hobbs and Shaw are arguing about Shaw's little sister, and he's like, she's gonna climb this great big Cherokee mountain, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And basically after that, we just went on a rock binge and we just started watching rock films. And then one day we were just talking about the idea of us having kids,
No,
and that
no,
you
no, 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 no. Same film.
same film. Fair
If you're
enough.
gonna talk about it, talk about it. Okay, let me take over.
You
Right.
do it. You do, mate.
So
You
so
remember it
basically
much
there was that scene, and then at that point I was like, I said if I ever have a daughter, I would fear him as a son-in-law. And then you guys were like, why? What's the problem with that? And I was like, look at the mountain of a dude, and she's just. And for some reason, they started the inside joke that Hobbs' little sister is my daughter for some reason.
because we don't know who the dad is.
And then, well, no, I guess we don't. But or I guess we do. I don't know. I don't really want to be. Well, the result of which, anyway, was that every time she came on, they were like, "Oh, aren't you proud of your daughter?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know." This whole mountain. And then she kissed, like obviously they kissed at the end, and it was like, "Oh, it looks like you're gonna have a sad time because your son-in-law is she's climbing him like a mountain." It's like, oh fuck's sake. And for some reason, it just kept coming back. We weren't even watching that film. We only watched it once. And then it's I don't think I've ever seen Vanessa Kirby in anything other than that film.
No, it's not Vanessa Kirby. It's Dwayne the Rock Johnson. Any film we watch of his now, we'd be like, "That's your son-in-law who climbed that, and your daughter climbed that mountain. They're probably divorced
Yeah,
now. Climbed it anyway."
because because
Actually,
you because you
that's
can't
a great
quit The
idea.
Rock.
Now it's like, why did she divorce him? Well, it's like the issue is like, well, she wanted to climb that mountain. Yeah, so did a lot of other women.
Yeah, her flag was
I
planted,
think
and then she saw that there was many other flags.
She got to the top finally and just saw there was like 5 other flags, and there was already one other person there putting a new one, and they were just staring that awkward glance, and they're like, "Oh,
To be fair, he could
hey,
handle a couple of them at once.
yeah, he could. I mean, he's that big of a guy."
Not my daughter. No, 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 nothing like
No,
that.
no, 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 no.
No, no, no,
I
no.
mean, she went through it anyway because hell, she wanted to climb the mountain, and it's it's it, it's easy to climb a mountain with more people.
I'm uncomfortable. I really don't like my offspring to be talked about this way. To be partaking in some sort of weird reverse gangbang on the rock. I don't like it.
What is that awful joke where it's
Except
like,
for this one.
no, there's a really bad one where I imagine someone saying, 9 out of 10 people enjoy a gangbang, but now I'm
Yeah.
kind of seeing it as 1 out of 10 people enjoy the gangbang, and the only reason why that there's only one person is because that one person's The Rock, and by the end of it, sure, no, in a gangbang with him, all 10 people would enjoy in the end, all of
No,
them.
that's whoa, okay. Almost made a mistake there. It's not 9 out of 10 people enjoy a gangbang. 9 out of 10 people enjoy a gang rape. I
The
think
joke was originally though from what anyway.
I think in
Well,
a
before we get
gangbang,
into
I
this
think there's
really,
still a possibility for 10 people out of 10 people to enjoy it.
yeah, true, true, true. But moving on from this awkward conversation in which one of our viewers is probably very uncomfortable right now.
Hasn't left, so we're not doing that badly then.
Oh, she hasn't. But going back to the topic of D&D,
Yeah.
for background, um, so in the next campaign, is your dad going to be the Rock?
Stop, please.
Sorry. To be fair, he can't be because the Rock is going to be one of the saints of God in the world.
I hate you. Because you know damn well that
Guess
in
what?
a campaign, I am playing myself.
Yes. And here's the best part. I haven't called him the Rock. I haven't called him the Rock. Called him the Mountain.
God of Mountain. Well, can't beat the original Mountain.
uh,
Now,
uh,
okay, well, there's going to be a very big difference between D&D me and in real life me, which is that D&D me is going to be celibate to avoid ever
and
going through that shit ever again.
you say
He's
that,
not.
but
He's
what if
not.
God is? What? Yeah, I didn't think he would be. He's a warlock bard, very charismatic. He ain't gonna be celibate.
I'm not entirely sure about the bard still, because the only
Okay,
reason why it
so
would be bard is because his instrument is a musical one.
and to be
But
fair, he can be something like an entertainer, which I think as a background, and that can give you
exactly
proficiency with the. Yeah, that's fair.
with performance, because basically, if
And,
he's
and
if he's
musical
a
instrument.
warlock, then he's a charisma caster.
Yeah, exactly.
So and basically like the instrument would be like his magic focus.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so maybe he might multiclass into a wizard at some point, but he would be predominantly warlock
Okay,
to
that's fair.
god.
Wizard warlocks, man, they're very weirdly common.
I am not surprised.
Team charisma. You won't be team charisma in the next campaign, Tammy. You're gonna be team strength. You will be a cleric, soon you.
I don't want to.
To be fair, Tammy, I don't think it's a warlock thing. I think it's just a you thing, because bear in mind your ranger is also the cleric. I always do that stupid thing where I look at my fucking own self instead of the camera when I make the whole. I think
Yeah.
dumb. It's cover my
Well,
theory.
my camera is right there by the screen of
Yeah, so you have it easier, but regardless, what was I going? Because what time is it now? It's 8:30. We should probably. Oh wow, weirdly this feels like a decent time for wrapping up. We
Yeah,
actually
we can
finishing on
wrap up.
time.
Yeah,
But
instead of going on for like 2 hours. Oh. To be fair, we're not reading an
yeah,
article this time.
yeah, we
Um,
just decided to
yeah,
talk about D&D because we had just been talking about it and thought it'd be
yeah,
a good
exactly.
idea.
Um, I mean,
But,
the main thing as well is like at some point, our viewers. I'm speaking to you now about at some point we might not necessarily know what we want to talk about, and at some point we might not necessarily know what you want us to talk about. But this is what the comments are great for. So, in future, when your friends are watching this or your family, whoever, um, and you guys listen to us speaking and think to yourself, actually, I want them to talk about this now. Um, put a topic in the comments, and we'll read them. And once we kind of finish the topic that we're on at that moment, we might just
yeah,
do that topic. You know, not today, obviously,
because
because
yeah,
we're about
let's
to
be fair, it's
leave
not
it.
like we have like 1,000 comments anyway, to read through.
Exactly.
Oh, I don't want to read through them.
I mean, we do, but
We
they're all
we
from
we pull,
Tammy. I mean, look at
we-
this list.
yeah, this is probably the most comments we've ever gotten
Yeah, it's not
ever.
gonna.
So thank you, Tammy.
Thank you. Thank you
Really
for
helping with the YouTube
yeah.
algorithm here, actually. If you just, well, how many?
It's
If
true.
you just do this like 1,000 more times, we may actually, get on like a recommended list or something.
That would be excellent.
I ain't got the time. Fair enough. No
You're
worries.
getting all the messages way quicker than I do.
Yeah, to be fair, I don't know. I guess maybe my Wi-Fi is a little bit stronger. Who knows? But
That would
yeah. Well,
suck, as I'm cabled.
or maybe I don't know because I'm in Bath, which I think is slightly further south than London. Maybe I'm just closer to where Tammy lives.
Closer to.
I was very close. I was very close to saying what country she actually lives in, but I figured something I did say on the internet.
I am closer to her, therefore her messages that come to me via the internet get to me
Look, I
faster.
don't know how the internet works.
I don't think anyone does.
Fair Bath is a big place, and so is England in general. I'm fair. I'm technically just staying here. I don't actually properly live here.
Yep.
I haven't. The owners still haven't figured out that I'm staying here.
Nice. Free living.
But yeah, wrap things up. Thank
Yes.
you, people, for tuning in. Thank you, Ron, for the great discussion. It was a lot of fun actually
Yeah, thanks.
talking
Thank
about
you as well,
D
Guy.
and D in general. And we'll catch you guys next week, Wednesday.
Next week, same bad time, same bad channel. Is that what they said? I'm sure it was. Anyway, goodbye.